The bridge between words. Daniel and Emily's house was once full of laughter. Words flowed easily, like a gentle stream. But years of arguments turned into silence, and silence into walls. Now their words lived only on scraps of paper, sharp, cold, functional. One morning, something changed. A note appeared, not sharp, but caring. That evening, the storm came, and for the first time in years, he felt cared for. The next day, Emily found a note that stopped her breath, but she hadn't worn her blue sweater in months. Daniel offered no clue. She didn't ask. He didn't explain. More notes appeared. They spoke of gardens, strength, and unseen care. Daniel began to linger by the garden, drawn by words that felt alive again. Emily, too, began cooking again, leaving an extra plate as though waiting. Then one note broke her completely. You don't have to carry everything alone. For the first time in years, she wrote something kind, 2 simple words. But peace is fragile. One night, Emily broke down in quiet tears, and for the first time in months, Daniel asked softly, "What's wrong?" She wrote what her heart feared. What if it's too late for us? For a moment, his old defenses stirred, but instead he chose differently. He wrote only one line, "Then let's start now, even if it's late." The next morning, a new note appeared, one neither of them had written. Daniel reached for her hand, awkward, unsure, but firm, as though remembering a forgotten language. That night, for the first time in years, they spoke. The words were clumsy, but real. The note didn't vanish. They changed, balancing chores with care. Months later, in the attic, Emily discovered a forgotten notebook, her late grandmother's words, the same ones that had been appearing on the notes. She never told Daniel. Some mysteries, she decided, were better left unsolved. That night, she left him one final note. "I'm glad we found our way back." But this time, Daniel didn't reply with paper. He whispered, "I'm glad too." Morning came lighter. Notes still appeared, but now with warmth. The house filled with new words, not perfect, but present. Even small conversations over coffee felt like a miracle. In the garden, silence no longer weighed heavy. It simply breathed. One clumsy moment sparked laughter, the sound of their old selves returning. Their words were fragile, sometimes painful, but they were words. Alongside chores came reminders of love, ordinary yet alive. Only Emily knew the secret of the guiding words and chose silence. Now their nights ended not with silence, but with gentle care. It wasn't perfect, but it was presence. It was enough. They began to rediscover small rituals, like walking together again. Words once lost became bridges again. Even pride, once unspoken, found its way back to words. The house was no longer silent. It breathed with presence and promise. Looking back, she realized love had never vanished, only words had. Now they wrote together, simple, honest, human words. Their home filled again, not with perfection, but with presence. Relationships rarely fail because love disappears. They fail when words do. Love is not about avoiding conflict, but choosing again and again to reach across the distance with honesty and care.